Greetings. Let us continue with numericals on deflection of the determinate frame. The statement of numerical is determine the vertical deflection component of the joint C of the truss shown in figure. E equals to 200 GPa and a cross-sectional area of all members are 10 raised to minus 4 meters square. The given frame is a triangular single bay frame which has an angle A equals to 30 degree and angle B equals to 60 degree, and it receives a vertically moving downward moving load at joint C. We are interested to know what is the deflection at the joint C under the given loading condition. For that, let us try to first work out on geometric parameters. Let's find the length AC and length CB of the member AC and BC. So we have a relationship, triangular relationship here. BC divided by sine of 30 means BC side divided by opposite angle. Similarly, we can say AC divided by sine of 60 is equals to AB divided by sine of 90 degree. Angle at C is equals to 90 degree. From this, if we substitute the value of, we know the value of AB. If we substitute the relationship here, we can get BC is equals to AB sine of 60 degree multiplied by sine 30, resulting into a value of 1 meter. Similarly, we can get AC equals to 1.732 meter, where we can say length AC is equals to AB sine 60 divided by sine of 90 degree. Now I am interested to know what is the perpendicular intercept of this vertically moving downward load. For that, I will extend the line of action of this point load over the member AB, which is going to have a orthogonal crossing at the AB. Let us say angle D is 90 degree. From this triangle ADC, we can say distance AD is equals to we know the relation for with reference to geometry. We know the relation cos 30 is equals to AD divided by AC. Among this, we know value of AC. If we substitute the value of AC here, we can get it as a 1.5 meter. Similarly, we know the sine of 30 will be equals to CD divided by AC. So from that, if we know the value of AC, if we substitute the value of AC, then we can get CD is equals to 0.866 meter. Now, after knowing the geometric parameter, let us go and try to find out the unknown reactive forces. The end condition at A is hinge and end condition at B is a roller condition. So hinge will attract two forces, whereas the hinge will attract a reactive force, single reactive force. So this RA, RB and HA, these are the reactive forces which are unknown. So to find out this, we'll apply a static equilibrium equation towards this geometry. The summation of forces in x direction will result into value HA minus 0, means there is no external force which is moving in horizontal direction to balance this reactive force. That's why HA tends to be negligible or 0. If we go with a equilibrium in vertical direction, we have two reactive forces going upward and the applied load going downward. That's why we can say RA plus RB is equals to 200 kilonewton. Now we will have the summation of moment about joint A. So I am going to consider all the moments about the joint A with reference to applied forces. The very first one is here the end reactive force at B. So RB into 2, and it's going in anti-clockwise direction. That's why minus RB into 2 will be the product here. This will be the twist caused by the reactive force plus 200 multiplied by the AD distance. Just we have find out AD from geometric parameter. It's about 1.5. 200 into 1.5, it's a clockwise, that's why positive, is equals to 0. Hence, if we solve this equation, we get RB equals to 150 kilonewton moving upward and RA is equals to 50 kilonewton moving upward. So after knowing the reactive forces, I am interested to know what is the member forces in individual member of this assembly. So we'll go with the force analysis here. Before going towards the force analysis, I will have some substitution here. I am going to substitute here 200 kilonewton applied load as a F load, and I am going to put the values of reactive forces in terms of F. So here reaction at A was 50. If I convert that, it will be 0.25 times of F. And here reactive force was 150 by 200, it comes to 0.75. I am going to convert in terms of F here, 0.75 F. Now after this conversion, I will have joint by joint analysis. Let's move with the joint A. If you prepare free body diagram at joint A, there are four forces: HA, RA, reactive forces, and member forces FAC, FAB. The action of the four member forces are made in such a way that they are going to balance the effect of the applied forces. Like if I consider FAC going downward, means it's a compressive in nature towards the joint A, the vertical component of this FAC force will try to balance the upward reactive force, whereas the FAB force, member force FAB, will try to balance the reactive force HA. So now, after this consideration, let us apply static equilibrium equations towards this free body diagram to know the unknown forces. If I apply summation of Fy equals to 0, what I will get here? FAC sine of 30 degree going downward minus FAC sine of 30 degree going downward, and RA is going to upward. If I put on the left and right hand side of the equation, we can say FAC sine of 30 degree is equals to 0.25 times of F. From this we can get the value of FAC is equals to 0.5 F, 0.5 times of F kilonewton, and that the nature of the force is here compressive force. Similarly, if I apply summation of forces in x direction, what the result I will get? FAC cos of 30 degree is equals to FAB. If where we know the value of FAC, substituting the value of FAC in this relation, we get the result FAB is equals to 0.433 times of F kilonewton, and that too tensile in nature. After force are known, I will mark these forces on the diagram for a ready reference for future calculation part. Let's go towards the next joint now. The next joint considered is the joint B. At joint B, there are two reactive forces, member forces, and one reactive force RB. The three forces are being there in a free body diagram: FBC, FAB, and RB. The sign convention is considered in such a way that they are going to balance the equilibrium here. So FBC is considered to be moving downward in a compressive action, whereas we know that FAB is tensile in nature. So summation of force in x direction will result into FBC cos of 60 degree is equals to FAB. We know the value of FAB and cos 60. If we divide this by cos 60, we get an answer here 0.866 times of F kilonewton, and it is compressive in nature. So from this analysis, we have got nearly all member forces. Now I'll move towards the part to know what is the deflection. For this, I will use the concept of here strain energy. So what I will do, I will put all the values in tabular format. The very first column will be member AB, BC, CA. Then the second column will be the length. So we have AB member length given as 2 meter, BC we have found it was 1 meter, and CA length is 1.732. We have found it with the triangular properties here. After that, we have done force analysis. So 0.433 was the force carried by member AB, 0.866 for the member BC, and for the member AC it was 0.5. Now what I will do, I will take a squaring of this F square, 0.1875 F square. If I take a square of this individual column, I will get 0.1875 F square, 0.75 F square, 0.25 F square. Then the second column, we are going to have a product of this F square into L. So I will multiply this column number 2 with column number 4, resulting into value 0.375 F square, 0.75 F square, 0.443 F square. The total value I am going to assume it as a 1.588 F square. So we know the relation from strain energy concept that the member which are subjected to gradual loading, and that too in axial tension or compression, we can say summation strain energy is nothing but summation of F square L divided by 2AE. So I will substitute the value of here F square L here, summation of F square entire system. It is 1.588 F square. 2 into 10 raised to minus 4. I am going to convert this into this was given in meter square. I have substituted the cross section area of the member, and 200 GPa was given, the E value was 200 GPa. So I have converted that into 2 into 10 raised to 5. Okay, now what I will do, I will use here Castiglione-First theorem, which says that if we take partial derivative of total energy possessed by the system with reference to the force under which we require the deflection, so we can have here partial derivative will represent the deflection which is caused by that particular force. So delta C, let's say the diabar C is the deflection caused at the C. So it will be equal to partial derivative of the entire stored energy with reference to the force here. So you have to take derivative of this particular relation. So it will be twice 1.588 into. Now I have substituted the value of F here. So here instead of writing in terms of F, I have substituted here value of F which we have considered as a 200 divided by 2 into 10 raised to minus 5. So here the 2 which has come in a numerator side after derivative will get cancelled with the constant 2 here which was in equation. What remains 2 into 10 raised to minus 4 multiplied by 2 into 10 raised to 5, resulting into a value of 7.94 per mm. So likewise we can find out the deflection caused by the external force using the concept strain energy concept. So with this we'll end today's session. We'll meet in next section with the introduction to the indeterminate structure and comparison of the determined and indeterminate structure. Till then, stay at home, be safe, be healthy. Thank you.